We begin our look at sports on the baseball diamond right here in the Bronx. You have to give the New York Yankees some credit for weathering the storm. 13 players down in April, including star Aaron Judge, who is the latest to fall to injury. And somehow the Bronx Bombers are still holding their heads above water. Judge strained his oblique over the weekend. Somehow, someway, Yanks still managed to bounce back. And that's after what easily could have been an epic meltdown by the bullpen on Easter Sunday. A Yankee resurrection late, thanks to backup catcher Austin Romine. The Yankees edged the Royals in extras on Sunday 7-6 in 10 innings, and by doing so moved above the 500 mark for the first time since April 7th. Romine provided the game-winning hit. Central to those efforts, though, was lefty James Paxton, who twirled a gem before the bullpen suffered a meltdown in the 8th inning. Three things stood out for me in this one. First, Romine remains the best backup in baseball, especially offensively, where he can hit a little, and he's clutch. Second, 22-year-old Tyro Estrada moved a runner over late in this one, and it's great to see when newcomers pull together for the soul of the collective. It's what I've been saying all along when it comes to championship teams. It's not always about the stars. It's about the collective. And thirdly, look out baseball. James Paxton is rolling. He's the ace the Yankees have been looking for. Paxton is the first pitcher in Yankees history with back-to-back games of 12-plus Ks and 0 runs allowed. He joins an impressive list: Clayton Kershaw in 2015 and Roger Clemens in 1987 as the only pitchers ever to have 12-plus Ks, 1 walk or less, and 0 earned runs in back-to-back starts. Adjustments. Paxton said he noticed while watching video between starts that he needed to drive down the mound more authoritatively, which he credits for letting his fastball fly at 97 plus. That adjustment was made prior to his start against Boston, and he sustained those gains on Sunday in the Bronx. His last fastball of the day registered at 97 miles per hour. If Paxton's able to keep this or something like it going, then he's going to continue to be the rotation stabilizer the Yankees need as Luis Severino continues to recover from shoulder and lat problems. Yanks begin a series in Anaheim tonight. Mets fell to St. Louis 6-4 on Sunday. The Amazons are 11-10, also one game over 500, like the Bombers. St. Louis's Paul Goldschmidt drove in 2 runs, and Noah Syndergaard had better luck at the plate than on the mound, hitting a homer with Dexter Fowler's help as the Cards beat the Mets. To boot, there was insult and injury for the Mets as Robinson Cano was hit by a pitch. The second baseman was hit hard on the right hand as he swung at an Andrew Miller pitch in the top of the 7th against the Cardinals. Cano left the game after being checked on by manager Mickey Callaway. One of the team's trainers' X-rays on Cano were negative. The umpires ruled the play a swinging strike and not a hit by pitch, sending Callaway into a heated argument with the third base umpire. Callaway ultimately got himself ejected from the game. Time for some quick hitters from around the world of sports. There is no advanced NBA metric for leadership from the point guard position, but if there were, Damian Lillard's rating would be off the charts. Dame time, baby. The Portland Trailblazers star put on a dazzling display Sunday night, teaching a master's class while taking on one of the league's other elite point guards, Oklahoma City's former MVP and triple-double machine, Russell Westbrook. Lillard staked the Blazers to a sizable third-quarter cushion, one that expanded to as many as 19 points. He manipulated the entire floor down the stretch and helped his crew exit the building with a momentum-stealing 111-98 victory and a 3-1 lead in this series. Boston swept Indiana in the East and will move on to the second round. Golden State leads the LA Clippers 3-1. Toronto leads Orlando 3-1. Milwaukee leads Detroit 3-0. And Houston also on top of Utah 3-0. San Antonio and Denver knotted at 2-2 in the West, while back here in New York, the Brooklyn Nets are 1 game from elimination, trailing Philadelphia 3-1. That Nets-Sixers series has been intense. Emotions are high as the playoffs move into the second week. Things got a little testy between the two teams on Saturday night as Jared Dudley got in the face of Joel Embiid after the Sixers big man committed a hard foul on Jared Allen. That caused Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler to respond to Dudley, who overreacted to a good hard playoff foul by Embiid. The result was an ejection for Butler and Dudley, and a flagrant 1 on Embiid. But apparently that's not the end of the disciplinary process for the NBA. Nets general manager Sean Marks went into the officials' locker room after the game, no doubt to discuss what had happened. Yikes. I got to love Sean Marks. I love him. He's the man. NHL playoffs, a bunch of series tied at 3 or nearly even. Boston and Toronto will play Game 7. San Jose and Las Vegas will do the same. Washington leads Carolina 3-2. Nashville leads Dallas 3-2. Very few things as exciting as the Stanley Cup playoffs. We mentioned it on Friday. The NFL draft is this week. It starts Thursday night. The New York Giants will be on the board early in the first round. Rumblings have the Giants taking Devin White and Drew Lock. They're the 2 picks most likely to be nabbed in the first round. With 12 picks, including 2 in that first round, the Giants are in position to land a defensive playmaker and their future starting quarterback on Thursday. We shall see. Those are the headlines. We hit the C list for a belated Easter prayer for the New York Yankees. Bronx Bombers could use a little help from the heavens above. This team, when complete, is good enough to win it all. Listen, I understand that injuries are part of the game, but 13 guys, including the big guy, Aaron Judge. How about a little help from the actual big guy? The slugging outfielder was forced to leave Saturday's game against the Kansas City Royals after suffering an oblique injury. Yankees manager Aaron Boone told reporters on Sunday that Judge suffered a pretty significant strain. Judge suffered the injury on a 6th-inning single. He was clearly in pain as he ran down the first baseline. Earlier in the game, Judge slugged his 5th home run of the season. The list of injured Yankees is extensive. The team is already without ace Luis Severino, as we mentioned, reliever Dellin Betances, and a whole lineup worthy of key players, including Giancarlo Stanton, Gary Sanchez, Miguel Andujar, Didi Gregorius, Greg Bird, Aaron Hicks, and Troy Tulowitzki. But none are as important as the Judge himself. This Yankee generation's Derek Jeter. Pinstripers will need to fight until the troops are back on the playing field. Otherwise, an early judgment day could come for the Bronx Bombers in the shape of a playoff-less season. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.